Something terrible is happening in Sudan right now, except something terrible has been happening in Sudan for decades, and it's only now that the mainstream media is picking up on it because things have escalated. And I've tried to record this video and I cannot get it under 5 minutes, so I'm just gonna fucking bullet point what has happened to lead up to this. The thing that has happened is that the city of Al Fashir has fallen under the control of the RSF. This is the last remaining city that was not under their control. Now they have besieged and taken over this city. The RSF are a militia group, a rebel group, a paramilitary group that is backed by the UAE. The UAE deny this, but at this point it's undeniable. The RSF are formed from the Janjaweed militia, which you might remember about 20 years ago they committed ethnic cleansing and genocide against the Sudanese people. The RSF are currently fighting the SAF, the Sudanese Armed Forces, or like the National Army of Sudan. But in 2019 these two groups had worked together to overthrow the head of state at that time, Omar al-Bashir, who was a dictator who had held on to power since 1989 through corruption and electoral fraud, and they overthrew him in 2019. He was replaced with a kind of intermediate government, like a civilian military council, and both of these groups worked together in 2021 to overthrow that government too. These two forces had planned to unite and to join together, but they were unable to do that because they couldn't set a timeline for the integration of both of these forces. The RSF has a 100,000 strong army. They couldn't map out how they were going to integrate these forces, and also they couldn't decide who would be in control because neither general wanted to be the one to give up the power and influence and wealth that they had had as leaders of these strong military forces. And this sparked this civil war where, like in the capital cities and all of these areas where the RSF had stationed their troops, the SAF had responded with military force, and it just erupted into chaos that created such a humanitarian catastrophe for the people of Sudan, where 12 million people have been displaced and 24 million people are experiencing famine as a result of all of this chaos created by this conflict. As well as that, in areas like Darfur, the people are experiencing ethnic cleansing and exterminations and rape and torture, and all of these videos and images that you have seen coming out of Sudan are a result of these civilians being targeted by these RSF groups. And I'm only giving you a very vague sequence of events, but if you were to scratch beneath the surface you would find a lot of corruption and evil, not just from the Sudanese powers, but from the UAE, from these backing forces, and from the international community, who have not done anything to intervene in any kind of meaningful way. And I think because geopolitically there are benefits to allowing the RSF to, for example, control the gold mines, where a lot of the gold that they're smuggling from Sudan is ending up in Dubai. A lot of rich people are getting richer by allowing the RSF to control the areas that they are controlling, even if it's at the expense of the Sudanese people.